Good morning, all excited. How is everybody? Raphael 7286. How should I start off the video? Symbolism, pieces of art. And I'm here more to tell you how I feel than anything else because I need to express. I see, I feel, I think, I know, but how would I know when I see others doing the same thing and it sort of takes away saying, okay, it's already out there. How far did their group go? I don't want to think like that. I just want to think on what I see and what I can add. Imagine if we were just one big group and everybody added what was missing, or everybody had something different to say from the creation, from where their creation came from. Okay, so let me show you a few pictures. Oh, I'm just taking the camera. How do I switch this camera from this side to that side? Can I switch this camera around? I can't. So since I can't switch the camera around, I'm going to show you the Star of David swastika. I need to get a little bit more color into my camera. Okay, the Star of David swastika. Now you see what happens when you create this swastika. I did a square, empty square here. I did an empty square there. The same area that's open there is the same area that's open there. Yet when I go and I try to create this, okay, the way that it's created online, I can't seem right at this point. I'm going to try and create the better one, which is the one down here. But now if I put a head on this, wouldn't this be two arms? And the head is on this, the backbone or the body, right? This, right, looks like an animal, okay? This area here looks like the A, the 6, the 9, the G, the E, and a bunch of other letters, just a little bit more height, a little bit more geometry, and the same actual make, right? There's numbers in here. There's other things in here that we probably didn't even see, okay, like the number 3 over here if we take away this bar. But really and truthfully, tell me there's a guy sitting on a horse patting his horse right over here. See this one here? Looks like here's his head looking forward, here's his hand in the back whipping the horse, right? And then this one over here, see the number 4? At the same time on this one's the H, it's 4H. Designs and designs. Anyways, the other thing I wanted to talk about is now that I had 44, I wanted to see how can I get to 44. So I went 8 times 4, 8 plus 4, created the multiplication, and it created the addition sign. When I used the multiplication and the addition sign, it shows me, those geometric shapes, and I put it onto my square paper, and whether I'm running on a clock of 12, whether I'm running on a clock of 8 or a clock of 8 or 12, where will those arms, if you want to go in 360 degrees, where will those arms go to? And remember, you can work this in many ways. You can work this on a flat plane that either you can be on this side of the plane or that side of the plane, but nothing below. Whatever is below is where the complete opposite is pointing of this pen. Inside, let's say above is the empty space and this is inside the mud, right? Is all the mud pit the same thing? And it doesn't matter if you're here or here, only above matters where you are. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just like the design I made. Where's that design? I'm just going to look for the design. I think it's on the other page. Yes, it's just like this design I have here, right? You see the pond at the bottom? See that pond over there? They're both in the same area, igniting two different parts of the head, right? Of that. You remember the horns of the bull I created yesterday? Right? The Superman sign. Right? Remember thickness. Thickness takes up the first 2 lines, the top border line and the bottom border line. So now we have Superman and the horns, right? Remember, there's receptors, there's differentials, Here is my flat side and my round side, my flat side and my round side, right? Here is where the E comes into the E world. Here I would have two hearts, right? One big heart would be on both sides. Should I do that? I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I'll do it with this. But if we really take it, I'm going to have the heart here, and I'm going to have the heart here. And I would have this fourth one here. Instead, I cut the heart in half, and I just leave the V part of this heart. So math, geometry, then when you go to the, just jumping off, if you go to that 8 clock, right? And let's say if you're at here, I'm going to show you the 8 clock if I could. Here's, hold on a second. Yeah, let me hold it to my chest so I can see it on the phone. I always thought this phone turned around when I do that. Here's that 8 star. So it's going to be a degree between, you know what I'm saying? In here, we're going to run on 360 degrees. Now, it can also be that rounded shape thing that I have one of them. Do I have a rounded shape thing here? God almighty. Oh, yeah, God. I don't even know how to use these things. I wish I did. If I knew more how to use this, you understand? What numbers are at the top and it goes to only 180. So I only can use 180 degrees in my calculations. That's it. 180, that's it. I've got obligations and rules to follow that somebody else created before me, and I'm so happy I'm so dumb. I like to say the word that I'm dumb because the less I know, the more I can create, and the less my mind, okay, has been stickied to something. Oh, it's got to be done that way. Yes, I follow a few rules. I can call them my own rules using their signification for a sign. Like when I add things, I'm adding from an original number. I can also take back from that number the minus sign, crossing of the plane. Or is the minus sign supposed to be this way or this way? Which way was the sign? Well, they're using it this way. Even if the minus sign is part of the multiplication sign on a different angle, and that's why you multiply it. Remember, anyways, I might confuse you. And then there's that 9 scale. I was watching something, not with Rodin's coil, but something to do with math. What was the name of that again? I was watching about the sun. I was watching, let me go to history. I'll tell you what it is. Thank God we got a little history. Someone reminds it. The Numerical Universe, Part 1 by Anthony Morris. And he looks at it as Rodin's coil, but everybody knows Rodin's coil actually will create this. Right? In which is 7777. And then it's going to tell you a whole nother story. When you do the art math work on it, it's crazy. It's just insane. Insane, my friends. So now I want to show you the last piece of what I'm working on right now. I seem to never finish. Get everything only half done. What value does something half done do? Really and truthfully, I don't like to get half done. I think I get more than half done. And what I'm working on right now is these numbers here, 8 times 4. So I took the original 2 numbers. And from it, I got those numbers. And then from that, I got these numbers that gave me these numbers. So I'd go A from the original, B, C, D. But it's not A from the original because there's more than that. How did I get the number 8 and 4 to start with? Is 8 a complete number? Is 4 a complete number? And I'm going to say yes, 4 is a complete number. It's a complete number that begins, with 2. 2 is the reality of because of 1, that on each side of 1 was 1 and 1, making it 2, above as below, making it 4, and let's begin. 1 goes in the center of 4, we have 5, we started from 1 and 2, A and B creates A, B, C, and the totality is 1 and 4 creating 5, Jackson 5. Oh my God, how did he get that? Why does that group exist? And that's a mathematical equation to Jackson 5. So I think I'm going to do another video of this and tell you how we got to Jackson 5. And I'm going to make it exciting because I'm excited. But I'm a little upset that I haven't worked out that multiplication difference per level of number. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 by 4 is 16. The difference between 9 and 16 is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There are 6 numbers in between. Yeah. One number to make them touch. And one number for all of them. The 9, the 10, the 11, the 12, the 13, the 14, the 15, and the 16. There are 8. There are 6. There's 7 to connect, but there are 8 total. Everything has a relationship, a building relationship with a reality, which will create the juncture, the meeting point, tell you how much area space you need in order for this to function. If you were saying, I need 3 wires with 3 wires inside, and this is the size of the wire, and this is how long the wire would be, and once rolled up on a spool that's only 3 inches in diameter and 4 inches wide, how much area space would that wire rolled up be if it was 20 feet long? And that's what you work with. Also associating it that it's squares, compartments that it goes into, or rounds. Rounds are calculated almost like squares when you're talking about area space, right? 3 inches wide round, 3 inches wide flat is 3 inches across, like this, right? Does it really matter which angle you go? But the greatest distance on a square, but you don't need to create a greatest distance on a square when you're piling things up. You need to have the diameter, right? Not the greatest diameter. So what is the diameter just up and down, right? Up and down, horizontal, vertical, versus this diameter thing. You see the angle? Diameter means going from the furthest corner to the furthest corner. Now don't forget, if it was in a cube, that furthest corner to furthest corner would be one thing. But if it was just a square, do you know what I'm saying? In a cube, I'm going to show you the difference in a cube and in a square. I didn't say I'm in Cuba, right? In a square, okay, do you have that over here? In the square, the greatest distance is from here to here. But in a cube, right, in a cube, the greatest distance from over here to the greatest distance over here is much longer. Raphael, seeing the difference, knowing what happens or the consequence of the truth in creation. I would look for words that won't make any sense right now, and sometimes I like to do it, but because I said it and it broke up then I didn't say it. Gesundheit. Thank you for watching. Raphael, 7286, in a constellation of Pegasus, the theory of everything, brought to you by the truth. Trust it. It's always right. Eh?